A very good evening and welcome. This is News First Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports. I'm Ramesh Irugal Pandara. Now, according to reports, all 108 passengers and crew have survived when a Lion Air Boeing 737 missed the runway on the Indonesian resort island of Bali and landed in shallow waters. We will have more details on this story as the bulletin progresses, but for now, let's start off with a look at your headlines. The country prepares for the dawn of the new year. The Punakaliya commenced at 7:05 this evening. The office of the Uday newspaper in Jaffna attacked yet again. Public Utilities Commission says that the revised electricity tariffs will be announced on the 17th. And US Secretary of State visits China. Stories in detail now. 3 police teams under the supervision of an assistant superintendent of police have commenced investigations into the arson attack of the office of the Uday newspaper in Jaffna. An unidentified group had attacked the head office of the Uday newspaper in Jaffna early this morning.
The head office of the Udayan newspaper is located down Kasturia Ramauta in Jaffna. According to D. Premanand, 3 armed masked persons had stormed into the office at around 4:30 this morning. He added that the armed persons had first fired shots into the air to instill fear on the office employees. Subsequently, they had fired towards the office and at the printing press. Three armed persons had stormed into the head office in Jaffna and had frightened the employees and had set fire to the printing press. The printing press was completely burnt and cannot be used. The group that stormed early this morning had first threatened the security officer. They had threatened him to leave at once. 2 armed persons had gone into the section where the printing press is located and had set it ablaze. Later they had also set fire to the newspapers. Thereafter they had frightened the employees and chased them away as well. Police officers who arrived at the Udayan newspaper office this morning commenced investigations. The police K9 unit was also dispatched.
Within 5 hours' time, a statement had come from the spokesman media house saying that this is an in-house work or something like that. Why are you trying to cheat the people of Sri Lanka, and why are you discriminating the Tamils in Jaffna? You have appointed all the army men to rule us. It's an army dictatorship going on in Jaffna. Nobody can deny. See, General Hatru Singh, he is answerable. He should be held responsible for today's event.
There is no basis for the government to say that this was an inside job. In this instance, the government was quick to come to a conclusion within a span of 4 hours. However, no arrests have been made as yet regarding the killings of 2 of our employees in 2006. We do not consider this as a minor incident because this was the 32nd attack on the Udayan newspaper. Even if the government holds an inquiry, it will not be done in a fair manner. We have no faith in the government. If they are able to reach a conclusion so soon, how can we expect them to hold an actual inquiry? We hope that they will get a proper answer. We are always being attacked. They say that investigations will be held, but no arrests are being made. They cannot continue this charade.
අර විදියට මේකට පිළිතුරක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. නැත්තම් අපි හැමදාම නිකම් ගහනවා ඊට පස්සේ පරීක්ෂණ පවත්වනවා කියනවා ඊට පස්සේ කිසිම දෙයක් අත්තරංගොඩ අරන් නැහැ. හැමදාම මේ කතාව කියාගෙන ඉන්න බෑ.
I think they should be suffering from some sort of mental illness to make such statements. We condemn such statements. On one side, they are leveling attacks of this sort, and on the other hand, they are saying that this was an inside job. We saw such sentiments being expressed when Sirasa was attacked. They said that Sirasa had set fire to their building. When journalists go missing, they say that the journalists have gone into hiding. When journalists were attacked, they said the journalists shot themselves and set fire to themselves. This has turned into a habit. Therefore, we condemn this statement made by Lakshman Hulugalla. This was not only an attack on the office of the Uday newspaper in Jaffna. We consider this as a program undertaken by the government to strangle democracy in the North and Jaffna district. This is an act of terrorism carried out by the government. This is not a fair program. Today, media persons from the North and the South have been murdered and attacked. Yet, no arrests have been made. If the president resigns from his post, that would be a big favor for the people. He is acting in a manner that shows unsuitability to hold the post of president. A comprehensive investigation will take place. The IGP has also directed special attention to this. As the Minister of Mass Media, I have made a statement. I have given instructions to take all measures necessary to bring the perpetrators, criminals and suspects before the law. They are talking like that because things are not happening according to the way they want it to happen.
මේ මන්දගාමීත්වය ගැන කතා කරන්නේ මේ අය ඒ අයට උවමනා විදිහට ඒ කටයුතු නොවෙන නිසා. ඒ කට්ටිය කැමැත් විදිහට කියනවා නම් හිතලා නෑ හොඳයි කියනවා. එතකොට මන්දගාමීත්වය කියන්නේ ඒ කට්ටිය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ.
සිරස මාධ්‍ය ආයතනයට පහර දීපු වෙලාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරා ඔවුන් විසින්ම ගිනි තබා ගත්තා කියලා. ඒ අනුව තමයි අදත්
when the Sirasa media was attacked, it was said that Sirasa had set themselves ablaze. Likewise today, when the Udayan newspaper was set ablaze, similar sentiments were expressed. Yet no arrests have been made regarding the attacks made on media institutions and journalists. This clearly shows that the government is behind this. This is a threat to democracy and freedom of our country. Government must control this situation. The perpetrators should be punished.
බරපතල තර්ජනයක් වහාම ආණ්ඩුව මෙම තත්ත්වය පාලනය කළ යුතුයි මෙම තත්ත්වය මගහැරවිය යුතුයි මෙහි වැරදිකරුවන්ට දඬුවම් ලබා දිය යුතුයි.
An employee distributing Udayan newspaper assaulted and his motorbike set ablaze. Journalists attached to the Udayan newspaper assaulted at the Jaffna bus stand. A fast in Waligamam North in Jaffna comes under attack. Group assaults journalists attached to the Valampuri newspaper in Jaffna. Attack on a TNA meeting in Kilinochchi. Office of the Udayan newspaper in Kilinochchi attacked. Today, the printing press of the Udayan newspaper in Kasuria Road, Jaffna, set ablaze by a certain group. What are the reasons for such incidents to take place in the northern province?
Welcome back to the news. The entire country is preparing to welcome the new year, which dawns in a couple of hours from now. Traditions have always taken center stage during the New Year season. Let's take a look at how the Sinhalese and Tamil follow one important tradition. The partaking of the first meal and engaging in the first transaction of the New Year is one of the most important traditions observed during the New Year. As dictated by age-old traditions, milk rice dominates the meals during the New Year. The head of the household feeds everyone in the family with the hope that this will bring about a prosperous New Year. According to the beliefs of the Tamil community, the New Year which dawns tomorrow is named Vijaya. They engage in a special religious observance in lieu of the New Year and partake in the first meal thereafter. Here, a milk rice which is made from a mixture of green gram and sweets is the first meal consumed in the New Year. As we said before, Sinhalese and Tamils follow age-old traditions when welcoming the New Year. They believe that following these traditions brings them a prosperous New Year. Here's a look at the auspicious times for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year this time around. The Punya Kale began at 7:05 p.m. today and ends at 7:53 a.m. tomorrow. Sinhalese and Tamils celebrating the New Year cease all activities and engage in religious observances during this period. The Sinhala and Tamil New Year will dawn at 1:29 a.m. on the 14th of April. The auspicious time for the preparing of the first meal during the New Year falls at 4:06 a.m. on the 14th of April. Individuals are advised to wear blue-colored clothing and face the south while lighting the hearth and preparing milk rice mixed with ghee and jaggery. This year, the auspicious time for partaking in the first meal and transaction falls on the 14th of April at 7:05 a.m. Individuals are advised to wear tones of red and yellow clothing and face the south when engaging in this age-old tradition. Anointing of oil for the New Year is scheduled to take place at 6:41 a.m. on the 15th of April. Individuals are advised to clad in white and face east during the anointing of oil while standing on imbul leaves and under a canopy of wood apple leaves. The auspicious time to leave for work in the New Year will fall on the 17th of April at 7:42 a.m. Individuals are advised to wear green-colored clothing and leave for work while facing the south after consuming milk rice and jaggery. While many prepare themselves to welcome the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, locals from Padulla made an important visit to Muthiangani Viharaya. The locals who gathered at the Viharaya offered the first portion of their harvest to the Muthiangana Chaitarajanan in order to obtain blessings for the New Year.
From the past, many villagers in the Badulla district offer the first portion of the harvest to the Muthiyangana Chaitya. This special religious event was held early this morning with the participation of devotees who arrived from 4 directions in 4 separate praharas. The praharas began at 5:30 this morning from the Puakgodamulla Kshetwarama Vihara, Galya Selatisarama Vihara, Polwata Shri Sumangala Ramya and the Badulupitiya Buddhist Association Hall. The praharas reached the Muthiyangana Rajamaha Vihara at around 8 this morning and the villagers made their offerings afterwards. The tradition observed by the villagers in Badulla began 71 years ago.
The United States of America has conveyed its wishes to the Sri Lankan community for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Issuing a press release, the United States Secretary of State John Kerry says that every year this celebration brings the hope of new beginnings and fresh promise. It adds that the new year brings with it new opportunity for all Sri Lankans to join together in the spirit of peace and reconciliation. The press release issued by the US Secretary of State also adds that on behalf of President Barack Obama and the American people, he is eager to support the Sri Lankan people in this journey as Sri Lankans work to make progress on reconciliation and accountability 4 years after the end of the conflict which divided the country. The US Secretary of State says that the United States stands ready to partner with Sri Lanka and all Sri Lankans as Sri Lankans deal with these important issues. On to our developing story tonight. South Korean ambassador to Sri Lanka Jong Moon Choi assures that the 25,000 Sri Lankan citizens in South Korea are in safe hands. Speaking exclusively to News First, the ambassador added that South Korea has a contingency plan to protect its foreigners in case a military action is launched by North Korea.
There is no sign that Pyongyang is actually preparing military attack against South Korea. We don't see any unusual military movement on the part of North Korea. The strong rhetoric is, in my view, rather for domestic consumption to consolidate power base by creating a crisis atmosphere. And I wish to take this opportunity to assure our Sri Lankan friends, especially those who have family members and friends working and studying in Korea, that 25,000 Sri Lankans in Korea are in safe hands. Of course, we have a contingency plan for protecting foreigners, just like any other governments, but it is not even necessary to mention it at this stage.
Now, as tensions in the Korean Peninsula are on the rise, US Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in China in an attempt to garner China's support in defusing the current situation. China is one of North Korea's main allies, and Kerry hopes Beijing would use its influence to rein in North Korea.
Traveling to Beijing for the first time as US Secretary of State, Kerry is scheduled to meet the top echelon of China's leadership, including President Xi Jinping, Premier Li Keqiang, and State Councillor Yang Jiechi, China's top diplomat who outranks Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Speaking to the media in South Korea yesterday, Kerry reiterated that the international community will not accept North Korea as a nuclear power.
Neither the United States, nor the Republic of Korea, nor the international community, we are all united in the fact that North Korea will not be accepted as a nuclear power. The rhetoric that we're hearing from North Korea is simply unacceptable by any standard.
Meanwhile, North Korea's state-run broadcaster KRT announced yesterday that the government has decided to set up a Ministry of Atomic Energy Industry. North Korea said on the 2nd of April that it would revive a mothballed nuclear reactor able to produce bomb-grade plutonium, but stressed it was seeking a deterrent capacity. However, American officials are continuing to play down the possibility of North Korea possessing nuclear weapons.
I want to be clear that North Korea has not demonstrated the capability to deploy a nuclear-armed missile. The United States continues to closely monitor the North Korean nuclear program and calls upon North Korea to honor its international obligations.